We welcome you live to the season number 5 NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series race from New Hampshire Motor Speedway in Loudon, New Hampshire. It's the penultimate race of the Cup Series season tonight, and we head to this 1 mile oval from Loudon, of course. 2 races remain in the season. The championship battle is on. So much to talk about in this warm-up session coming up, as always. Apologize for the little bit of a late start here. OBS was having some issues, but we're officially all up and running now and ready to go here from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. This race, of course, 155 laps tonight. Halfway break going to be at the end of lap 78. 155 laps, 2 races are remaining in this Cup Series season at the Grand National Series in Kern last night. By the way, Kern County Speedway, it would take you 2 days to drive from there to here in New Hampshire. So, yeah, it's a good thing this is iRacing. We don't actually have to deal with all that, because that would be brutal. We're going to have Landon Johnson here for an in-race reporter. He is back. No employment today, luckily. And here we go from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Going to get ready for the half-hour warm-up session, then 2 laps of qualifying as always. From Loudon, somebody's going to own a lobster after this one. You, of course, do get a lobster from winning this race. I know Landon Johnson is very scared of them, so hopefully he doesn't win. All right. Here we go in Loudon, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series. Cars are on the racetrack. We are here for the warm-up session start. Everything is being so slow today. I apologize. Good Lord. Complete joke we've had so far today, but luckily we got cars on the track now. And we are ready to go racing here in New Hampshire. All right, here we are, cars on the track from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. First time ever the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series will visit this racetrack. Never visited here in any other series at all. I think we've only ever been here in lobbies. First one on the track is Landon Johnson. He heads back in a 3 and 4 in his 88. Of course, this racetrack is a flat 1 mile oval here in Loudon, New Hampshire. I guess you can kind of say it almost is like a smaller Martinsville, but race is completely different to that racetrack. I would almost compare it to maybe Phoenix due to how flat it is. So, should be a very interesting one tonight. Shorter oval. Just get underway here for this warm-up session. All right, Landon, you've been the only one on the track so far. You've done a couple of laps. What's the feeling like on this race car so far?
It's a little bit loose. Like, we had this discussion earlier. It's a little loose. You can't really get on the gas super hard. You're just gonna spin it out. But there's definitely a few different lines around here. But it's definitely going to be like the middle or the bottom. But just going to be wherever you can get the power down to get off the corner the best.
Here comes the 2 of Herklots on the track now. Of course, he's still in Grand National Series Championship contention. Finished in 3rd from Kern County Speedway last night. Grand National Series Championship got even tighter and it will go down to Las Vegas, guaranteed next week. With Cole Wilson 4 points back on Jacob Florino for the title. It is insanely close. All right, we're going to have a little bit of a session restart real quick, so just stay with us. From New Hampshire Motor Speedway, the warm-up session, of course, has just started, so not really missing much. For the first ever time, we'll be here from Loudon, New Hampshire. New Hampshire Motor Speed. I'm getting actually a report that iRacing is doing some crap. I don't know if it's true or not. So everyone seems to be coming in okay. I'm not really sure though. Man, we have had quite the amount of issues in the Cup Series lately for these technical things. Hopefully we still have a good race here coming from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Anyways, car's going to be back on the track here in just a quick second. As we continue with our warm-up session. Only 7 drivers in so far. That better change. Here goes Bryce Benson down the front straightaway into 1 and 2. He goes way up the racetrack. He is so far the top of the board, even though we've had not many cars run so far.
But for his first lap, that was really fast.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good lap there by the 9. Here's Zane Ramon back to 1 and 2. Let's take a look at your Cup Series chase standings entering it today from Loudon, New Hampshire. Matthew White so far sits now 10 points above Payson Lindsay. Braden Unsicker is 10 points above him as well. Bryce Benson was going to be 10 back, or 10 below it, but Bryce Benson was going to be 10 back as well. But he had a penalty after last night's Grand National race in Kern. 10 points for the Cup Series, now sits at minus 20. Aiden Donahue, Lance Shefford here, going to be minus 48. Sean Rowe, minus 54. Chandler, minus 59. Most likely those guys eliminated from title contention after today. And you see Ashton Miller there in 8. Anyways, we'll be right back from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Yeah, unfortunately, this field size is horrifying so far. There's only 7 cars in the race right now. That better change, or I can tell you right now we're not racing tonight. Because there is no way we will run this amount of laps for this little of cars. Pretty pathetic looking so far, but... all right. 9 cars now with White and Lindsay now coming in. Alrighty. So Landon, any update on how the track has been feeling?
Not really. I've only been going like a lap or two. Just trying to figure some stuff out.
Alrighty. See, that's the 9 of Benson. He gets into the wall. Oh! Zaner Mon on the inside on the 1. All right. Fix the ticker to fix up one of the chase driver's numbers real quick. It was Aiden Donahue's. This number was supposed to be purple, have a purple background on it. It actually didn't, but we just fixed that now, so we're good in that department. By the way, this was announced way earlier. But Cameron Chandler decided that he was going to test drive the NASCAR race. So, by the way, he, of course, missed Kansas last week due to his little plane accident with Cole Wilson. But Cameron Chandler decided that he was going to test drive the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League test car here, pre-race in New Hampshire. And he actually crashed and injured his leg. And we still haven't gotten word if he's cleared to race tonight. If he doesn't race tonight, he is going to be out of championship contention, pretty much guaranteed. And here is the 1 of Zane Rahman. You look to the inside of Kylan Wilson. And around goes Rahman. Definitely wasn't off the nose of Wilson. There's the 2 of Herclots back at a 1 and 2 here. Oh, and we have, oh my God, a horrific crash for the 32 of Kylan Wilson. My goodness. Oh, he is currently on his side. Pat halfway through this warm session here from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. The Magic Mile. Landon Johnson, if you win the Giant Lobster tonight, what do you think you're going to do with it?
I'm probably going to... I'm going to feed it to Eli Frank.
Wow. He is pretty large, so that would fit all in his stomach.
No. The lobster's going to eat him.
What? Oh. Oh? That's a large lobster then. Wow.
Yep.
I mean, the lobster was pretty big. It actually was somehow holding our race cars, some of them, pre-race here in New Hampshire. Got a hold of them.
Yeah, that's why I'm so scared of them.
Here is the 99 of Payson Lindsay. Man, what a run Payson has been on. Won 2 of the last 3 Cup Series races after being winless a year and a half. Both at mile and a half, one Chicagoland, then Kansas last week. Staying in championship contention, only 10 back of your points leader, Matthew White. And Payson Lindsay has just rallied back. He nearly missed the chase, was below the chase cut line for a good majority of the year. Alrighty. Anyways, still 12 minutes to go. Ashton Miller's trying to get loaded in here as well. Oh, car upside down. New paint scheme for Matthew White this week, as he, of course, is your points leader. WeatherTech on board. With just 2 races remaining in this season. I mean, you would have to imagine the championship battle. It's pretty obvious it'll go to Las Vegas next week, but what kind of gap can Matthew White build today, or will he be caught? We'll see. Hunsaker has gone to 2nd on the board. Lindsay is 3rd. White will go to 4th. Oh, and around goes the 7 off the no, and he's going to get absolutely slammed by the 77 there of Hunsaker. And here comes Kylan Wilson to just destroy them both. As the 82 of Aiden Donahue is going to roll off the pit road. Here comes Donahue, of course. Man, what a chase for speed he's had so far. Best car last week at Kansas. That was pretty obvious. Just, man, got caught on a 2-tire call. Payson Lindsay took and lost the race there. Best car in Chicagoland as well, and then, of course, speeding on pit road. Best car in Iowa, speeding on pit road yet again. Even lost a Grand National race in Iowa by speeding. I mean, he's been so quick in the chase, but if he just got those results, he probably would be much better in the points right now. White actually will go up to 3rd here. Gets around Lindsay. He'll go way up the racetrack in 1 and 2. He goes to head down the back straightaway. There's Aiden Donahue. Still has not put down the time. With his Showtime Motorsports machine. He will go to 5th. Probably the top 5 or 6 cars here are all going to be really close once Miller gets in. Another chase driver. He is pretty much out of championship contention. I'm not really sure how he's not officially eliminated just yet. Currently sits minus 85. The most amount of points you can score in a race is 43. So, yeah, he's literally if he was 2 points back than he actually was now, then he would have been eliminated last week. He's the 87 back, he would have been out. So, not looking very good for Miller. Drivers I can say most likely going to be out after tonight for the championship battle. Probably going to be, well, Miller, probably Cameron Chandler, Sean Rowe as well. He'll be out. Maybe Aiden Donahue can pull off a miracle and he'll still technically keep himself in championship contention, but I think it's going to be between your top 4, White, Benton, Lindsay, and Hunsaker at this point for the Cup Series title. But even Benton's got some work to do, minus 20 now, but he is top of the board currently here in practice. What an insane regular season he had so many chase points entering. Actually, he did because he got that big penalty that took away like half his chase points. Would have had even more than this. Hasn't won since Watkins Glen. No wins in the chase, of course. Even Bryce's last win on a oval, Cup Series oval, that is, was all the way back in Michigan, race 15 of the year. That was in April. So started off so hot, 7 wins, or 6 wins in the first 15 races, but no wins on an oval since Michigan. Around goes Aiden Donahue. He will spin on the back straightaway. He's up third. Contact and around goes White with the one Ramon. Cars do look pretty loose, Landon. Has anything actually changed?
No, I think it's still pretty loose. I feel like 1 and 2 is the more trickier part of the track. I haven't seen anybody spin out 3 and 4, but I've seen quite a few people spin out coming out of turn 2, kind of where Donahue just spun out. So I feel like the tricky spot's going to be in turn 2.
Yeah, we will certainly see. All right. Just about ready to go here in New Hampshire. Qualifying coming up in 6 minutes. Miller, by the way, is still not technically connected to the race. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on there. All right, as we complete down to 4 minutes to go here in this warm-up session. Man, do you crash after these races? Do you not have enough energy to complete these races all the time? Well, I think you need to try W Energy. Of course, the great energy that gives you the energy you need to complete races, do anything you want, have fun, and not be tired, of course. We are running a special promotion here where you can use ETR60 as a promo code to get 10% off your next W order that covers the entire cart. 10% off, that is. And that's going to give you a bit of a discount. Make sure to order W today at wenergy.com. Link is in the description of this stream. It's W Energy. Use code ETR60 for 10% off your next order. Henton still top of the board. Hunsicker, Donahue, White, Lindsay are top 5. Oh my God, Zane Rahman is in the catch fence. He's up on top of the wall. The wheel is now falling off. Man, what a hit for Zane Rahman. Here is a bit of racing going on between Donahue and Benson. You know, Aiden Donahue would love to go to victory lane tonight for his first win of the season. He definitely does not want to go this year winless. It's been I don't want to say it's been a struggle lately because it hasn't been, but executing has definitely been a struggle. Speed-wise, they've been back as of late in the Cup Series. He wasn't too confident coming into today in New Hampshire. Even circled Las Vegas for the finale next week as his best chance to win in the remaining Cup Series races this year. Here's the 32. Sorry. The 32 of Kylan Wilson. And the 7 of Matthew White. Minute left here. Hopefully Miller connects, so we at least have 10 cars. No, it's 10 cars. Usually, well, I don't even want to say that now, but used to be horrific, but tonight it's all we can ask for right now. Alrighty, 30 seconds to go here in Loudon. Checkers here in practice. Qualifying is going to come up next. Okay. All right. Well, here we go in New Hampshire for qualifying. It's one of the smallest fields in Cup Series history, but I guess we'll make do, unfortunately. Only 10 cars coming out here. This hopefully will set us up nicely for the okay, not set me up nicely to actually get words out of my mouth. Set us up nicely for the finale next week in Vegas. White's gonna run the outside here in 3 and 4, coming to green. Here is Hunsicker in the 77. One win this season is usually defending series champion, but still is in a decent spot to hopefully for him win his second title back-to-back. Goes way outside in 3 and 4. Going to be heading now on the back straight, front straightaway. Donahue first car over the line. Obviously goes fastest. Hunsicker is second. Here's the 99 of Payson Lindsay, winner last week in Kansas. Crazy that he is looking for his 3rd win of the year tonight. Rahman goes 3rd. White is only 5th. Hunsicker is still only second. Now is Donahue even improving. There goes White across the line. He is going to be top of the board. Goes to provisional pole. 2 of Herklotz was 5th on lap 1. Lap number 2 for the 2 car is going to bring in across the line and improves his time, but stays P5. Kyler Wilson down the back straight away in the 9 of Benson now on track. And it probably would be pretty hard to pass tonight, even though there's no cars in the race whatsoever. So track position, even any other spots you can get, probably going to be important. Especially with Benson wants to beat 5 other chase drivers in this race. Down the backstretch he goes. Into 3 and 4. Bryce now going to go across the line on his first lap. Seen improvements on lap 2, so maybe don't think too hard into this one. Lap 1. Won't even, actually won't register. He's going to be P4. Down the backstretch he'll go. Benson is going to stay P4. And the top 4 separated by half of the 10th. How about that? So that means Matthew White is going to be on pole here. By the way, Herklotz just disconnected, and Miller, I don't know what's going on with him. Okay.
I don't know if it's an internet issue or not, but Payson's like disconnected and rejoined like 3 times during practice, so.
Yeah, I don't really know. Cars are on the grid here. Herklotz is back. I don't know. I don't think Miller is going to make it to the grid, though. Well, it's the smallest grid we've had, I don't even know since when. Maybe ever in the Cup Series? Well, not ever. He goes to Season 1, but it's been a horrific Cup Series season, let's be honest, for car count. This car has ruined the Cup Series. By the way, for the part-time races, this car will never be used again for any other part-time races. You can count on it. I don't want to spoil it. Actually, I'll spoil it now. Why not? Who cares? The Gen 6 car and the next-gen car will be run. Expect the Gen 6 at the super speedways, short tracks, the Gen 7 at tracks like 1.5 miles like Charlotte, whatever. Not going to be touching this Gen 4 car, that's for damn certain. Anyways, car's now going to roll off of the grid, and this is going to be the smallest car count of the season. Wow. Very unfortunate. But hopefully, we're just looking forward to Vegas next week. It's going to be a bit of a get to Vegas race. Hopefully, it goes all right. Shoes Kona is always going to be down the front straightaway. 155 laps tonight. It'll be a grind. Only 9 cars. Pit road this time by to check pit road pace speed. Landon, I'm assuming the fuel window is, I think it's short of the stage.
56.5 laps.
Okay, yeah, that's short. Stage is going to be
So
at the end of 78. As cars will come down pit road to check pit road speed and go to their pit boxes. And cars will now roll onto the track here from New Hampshire. Well, I know it's an extremely small field, but only 2 Cup Series races this season left to go. Aiden Donahue on the outside pole with your points leader by 10, Matthew White. He is going for back-to-back Cup Series titles this year. And he set himself up nicely with another even bigger points cushion heading to Vegas next week. We will see. Base car is in. White, Donahue going to lead the field of greens. The smallest field in the Cup Series this season, but we're green and Loudon. Side by side, almost contact. There is contact between White and Donahue. So they head down the back straightaway for the opening time. Door to door for the lead. Donahue on the outside of Matthew White. Hunsicker door to door with Benton behind them. Donahue around the top. He is going to clear Matthew White for the lead on lap 1. Aiden Donahue takes it whole lead lap number 1. Here goes Bryce Benton looking outside of the 7 car. White going to try to fight back on the bumper of the 82 of Donahue. He's going to look to get clear on Bryce Benton. He'll do just that. Go back side by side between Lindsay and that 2 car of Herklots. This will be the first race in the Cup Series, I would say modern era, we don't count season 1, that every single car will get stage points in this race. That's unbelievable. Shouldn't be happening, but we made a wrong decision. Well, the drivers made the wrong decision to go to this car over the off-season. As they head down the back straightaway, there's Matthew White. Coming to lap 3, Bryce Benson going to look to dive on the low side. Looking to his inside, trying to get to his quarter panel for second. Yeah, Payson Lindsay under attack by Kylan Wilson and Landon Johnson. Payson hasn't had a great start so far. He's up the racetrack to 1 and 2. Wilson going to look to his inside here for P6. Oh, there's contact. Wow. They get into each other back down the front straightaway into 1 and 2. Yet again they go. Up the racetrack is Kylan Wilson trying to get to the quarter panel. The 99 to Lindsay. And off corner exit. Looks like Payson's going to be clear. Good grief, that was close. Up the racetrack, Lindsay goes this time by, and Wilson drives it really deep into the corner and clears it. Payson back up into the inside of him and gets back clear of him. And there's Landon Johnson back there behind Payson. The one to remind up the track now. The 32, Wilson will try to get to his inside. Is going to get cleared there. Up front, Aiden Donahue is pulled out to about a 7-10-second lead on lap number 7 here in New Hampshire. Matthew White is second. Bryce Benson is third, and he is hounding the back number of that 7 car. It is an interesting line that you do run here in New Hampshire. Kind of run up the racetrack a little bit, diamond the corner off, and get a nice run down these straightaways into the wall a little bit as Benson. I do wish that we actually had a good-looking field tonight at 9 cars, but it's whatever at this point. Benson going to try to drive up to the bumper of White, but still has to stay there in line. There's Braden Hunsinger, enter 10 below. Currently, he runs in 4th. Herklots 5th. There's Payson Lindsay trying to pull away from these 3 behind him. Kylan Wilson trying to drive to the bumper of Landon Johnson. Battle for second is still heating up. Bryce Benson almost on the wall a little bit. He's going to drive it really deep into 3 and 4. Oh, trying to get to the inside of Matthew White. He's going to have to get loose there and slides back in the line. Does seem pretty tough to pass so far here in New Hampshire. Get Johnson. There's Kylan Wilson to his inside. Oh, that's going to be Wilson neck coating a little bit. Links. Runs Johnson up the racetrack. They're going to be door to door down the back straightaway. Of course, we still expect a pit stop in this first half. More contact. Oh! Nearly took each other out there, heading down the front straightaway. Johnson on the outside of Kylan Wilson. Wilson gonna try to pinch him down low, but Landon's gonna get a nice runoff corner exit. Gets clear, but gets really loose and nearly wrecks it down the back straightaway. He will save it. Try to get back in line behind that 32 of Kylan Wilson, but St. Germain gonna be coming on his bumper yet again. Here is Bryce Benson trying to battle with Matthew White for a second once more, and they've just allowed Donahue to pull away to a 1.3 second lead. I do think this 9 car is a lot faster than the 7. Still just cannot find a way around him. With 12 laps complete. That's Bryce Benson to the wall yet again. He's been hitting that pretty decently. Donahue's pulling away big time now. Let's finally have a chaos race where he actually dominates the thing fully and maybe gets his first win of the year. Funny thing is, he could have had 3 wins in the chase so far this season. Had the best car at Iowa, Chicagoland, and Kansas especially, but it's given them all away. For one last ditch effort to try to keep his championship hopes alive, mathematically heading sorry, to Las Vegas. Johnson has fallen back to the clutches of Zane Rahman. On lap 15, Landon, are you feeling any sort of tire wear?
Maybe a little bit, especially since I got loose off of 2 and I got my rear tires hot. But I'm just locking up the left front, so don't really got to dial it in. Not really a short track guy, but I mean, tire wear, yeah, that'll probably be a factor. Especially since we'll have longer runs with no cars.
Got a bit of a Red Bull battle here between Hunsicker and Herklotz for 4th and 5th. White is actually beginning to pull away a little bit on the 9 of Benton, but still it's Aiden Donahue setting the best lap times up front at 1.8 second lead. 16 laps complete here in Loudon. Again, Bryce Benson falls back a little bit more on that lap time. So we're right along with him. Time here. Looking back, Kylan Wilson has again caught pace and Lindsay. Payson has just not had a very good car so far in this race. Is up there in the wall hard. That was a good shot down the on the front straightaway. Gonna have Wilson looking to his inside. Also got Johnson door to door with Ramon way up the racetrack, but here's Wilson side by side with Pace and Lindsay. Still door to door back into turns 3 and 4. Sorry, that's Kylan Wilson drives it really deep in the corner on the inside of Payson. Lindsay at this point is trying to lift and not slam the wall yet again. They are still side by side. More contact back into 1 and 2. And I think Kylan Wilson has the spot made up on Payson. Lindsay is falling to 7th. Here's Johnson side by side with Ramon, battling for last place. Oh, that's Ramon way into the corner. Gonna move Johnson up the racetrack and we'll clear him. Landon probably not gonna be too pleased with that maneuver. Just tries to look back to the inside of the 1. Up front, Bryce Benson has actually fallen back even more on Matthew White. White's been a little bit quicker than your leader, Donahue. Starting to get to the longer run here early in this race, and Hunsaker's actually caught Benton for 3rd. So, Landon, we are now 23 laps, of course, into this race. What is our fuel window looking like right now?
About 33 laps.
All right, so they do still have some time to go. There will be, of course, 1 pit stop in each half of the race tonight in New Hampshire. Bryce Benton now has been caught by that 77 Hunsaker. Battle is going on for 3rd. Hunsaker all over his back bumper. Braden drives it pretty deep in the corner. Up the racetrack he'll go. Gonna try to diamond that off and try to get a nice run down this back straightaway. He's going to pull to the inside of Benton. They're going to be door to door, heading back down into 1 and 2. Benton on the outside lane, Hunsaker on the inside, battling for P3. Hunsaker going to pinch him. Oh, he's going to make a little bit of contact with the 9 car to his quarter panel. Benton gets back clear. Top 4 all, of course, from the chase. Run looking down the front straightaway for that 77. Braden Hunsaker stays in line through 1 and 2 yet again. He runs the same exact line as Benton up the racetrack as the 9. Hunsaker trying to get to his bumper. It is very hard to make a bump and run happen with this race car without turning somebody around in front of you. Hence why we don't have Martinsville on the schedule. Oh, there's a little bit of contact back into 3 and 4 though. This 9 is struggling. Braden just trying to find a way around him. Do I believe I have a car in the pits? That is... Oh, the Tarkot's being done, okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Did not need that. Here goes Hunsaker looking to his inside, though. Battle for 3rd. Cuts it off on the inside. There's contact once again. Braden Hunsaker trying to clear that 9 car. Benton's still on the top, and I think Hunsaker's got the spot. Up to P3 he'll go. Benton tries to go back to the inside of him, but Hunsaker should be able to wrap that middle line and be able to clear the 9 of Bryce Benton. Matthew White has actually tried to reel in your leader, Donahue. He's done a pretty good job of doing that. And now he's having a blinking fest. All right, not really sure where we are now. Okay. Yeah, he's blinking very badly. The gap is now a second. White has closed up that gap, even with his issues. Braden Hunsuter, of course, to third. Benson to P4. Donahue does not like to see this 7 car closing up the gap, especially in the points. If White wins this race, most likely Donahue going to be taken out of championship contention entirely. White has been running significantly faster than Donahue over these last few laps. The gap is about 0.8 of a second. Looks like the 7 car very solid on the long run. Donahue looks pretty good on the short run now. Oh, we got a car. That's Kirklots up the racetrack. He'll go. Something just happened to Kylan Wilson. Sure why. I believe
connection issues.
Yeah. Mason Lindsay is now falling back here. Battling with Zane Rahman. Wilson sent to the pits. And Rahman going to drive to the inside here of Lindsay. Door to door they will go. Oh, that's Mason way up the racetrack. But again, side by side back into turns 3 and 4. Rahman looking to get 5th. Pulls a bit of a slide job. Lindsay tries to get back to his quarter panel. Tries to gas it up. He is trying to get there, but stays in line. Heading on the front straightaway. We only have 7 cars left running on the lead lap here. Kylan Wilson, by the way, of course, like I said, was sent to the pits here. 2 of Kirklots took fresh tires, and he's looking to get unlapped here. Ooh, that's that 2 way up the racetrack in 3 and 4, though.
I think Payson got in the wall again. Saw some smoke in front of me.
These 2 battling hard. It's not even 4 positions, side by side, between the 2 and the 1. Kirklots around the top of Rahman. Oh, they're both, that's the 2 car in the wall pretty decently. Lindsay trying to come back. He's going to look to the inside of Rahman here for that spot. he gets back clear. For the lead, White has caught Donahue, like I said.
Oh, somebody this big Hercules spun out.
Oh, caution is out for the first time today, and it's, yeah, that's that 2 car going around. Christian Hercules. First yellow of the day happens on lap 39. Let's take a look. Just came off the pit road, of course, 4 laps down. That was, I don't know what that was. Okay. That looks pretty intentional. I don't know what he was doing. Yeah, that was the definition of intentional. And he has been black flagged a lap now for doing that. Intentionally causing a caution. So we should see everybody here in the pits. And here they all come. The good 4 of them. Okay, this is horrific. Off pit road first. Donahue beats White barely. And he'll be off pit road first. White's going to be off second. There's Lindsay. Pace Lindsay, by the way, stayed out. So,
The car didn't have a whole lot of pace, and now he's going to be starting the front of the field.
yeah, I'm not exactly. Oh, now he's pitting. Okay. I don't know why he waited an extra lap for no reason, but okay. We're going to come to the shoes this time by. White is not your leader, so I don't know what we're doing here. But obviously, Donahue going to go to the inside. White was going to go outside anyway, so. See, Benson shoes is outside, inside for the 77. All right. As we get ready for the restart, going to be on lap 43. Man, this is certainly a small field today, but just trying to keep going here in New Hampshire. Gonna be on here, like I said, lap 43. Then you're all good to the end, right? Of the stage?
We should be.
Okay. So pit stops happen. Should be good to this stage. Here we go on the outside. Matthew White gets a big jump on Donahue. And he is going to go to the lead 3 wide. Look at the 77. Hunsinger tries to split Donahue, the 77 in the middle. Now the 82 in the middle. Here comes the 77. Hunsinger on the bottom. 9 Benson on the outside lane. We are 3 wide down the back straightaway for second place. And Bryce Benson goes on through for it. Deep into the corner goes Hunsinger. Oh, he's getting into the court panel of Benson. Gets him sideways. Benson is loose. Up the racetrack he goes. Hard race for second place. Look at Aiden Donahue. Tries to turn it down to the inside. Hunsinger loose in the middle. Benson clear to P2 there, just allowing Matthew White to just drive away. Aiden Donahue driving it really deep into the corner. Up the racetrack goes that 9 of Benson. In front of Hunsinger.
Donahue on the apron.
Yeah, I know, all the way nearly to the grass. Trying a brand new line on the inside lane. Gonna gas it up to the inside of Hunsinger. He'll be door to door with him for third place. What a terrible restart it was though for Aiden Donahue.
I don't know what happened to Payson. I guess he's not on the track no more.
Whoa. I'm not really sure. Oh, there's contact on the inside. Braden Donahue and Lindsay. Yeah, Lindsay's in the pit. What just happened there? I'm not really sure. Here goes Hunsicker looking to the inside of the 9-car Benson. Contact once again. Back into turns 3 and 4. Yeah, Lindsay is now 2 laps down. I'm not really sure what's going on now. Hunsicker, by the way, got really loose and gives a spot for second up to that 9-car Price. Lindsay, I believe, is pulling back on the track 2 laps down. I have no idea what that was all about. Here comes Donahue. Still on the back bumper of that 77. White is now marched out to nearly a second lead, your pole sitter. Benson in second, Hunsicker third, Donahue back to fourth after leading the opening about 40 or so laps. I mean, these top 4 cars are really, really quick. They're just pulling away from the rest of the field. There isn't much depth behind them, let's be honest. Benson is starting to back up to the 77 and the 82. Come to lap 50. Donahue putting pressure on Hunsicker for P3. There he goes. Working to his door. There's he's loose and he's nearly wrecking into the wall. Saves the race car down the front straightaway. That could have been a disaster for Braden Donahue. He does though have damage on his machine. So gotta wonder how much that'll affect him now. Bryce Benson trying to run down the 7 of White. Yeah, Donahue back there now to P4, falling back in the top 3. And once again, leading the opening 40 laps of the race. Gets a terrible restart. Not sure what happened there, it just didn't go. When they got to the restart zone whatsoever. And now finds himself in 4th. I feel like it's been the same story all chase long for Braden Donahue. So got a little bit to go until the halfway break in New Hampshire. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Payson Lindsay. He's back here currently now 2 laps down. He is the free pass car, but I don't really understand why he brought it to pit road. He is struggling. He has not had a good night at all yet. Herklot's in the pits right now. Wilson out of the race. And the gap, a second between White and Benson. Matthew White, of course, your points leader entering the day. 10 points in the chase over Hunsicker and Lindsay. 20 back was Benson. Your Season 1 Cup Series champion, looking to maybe get a Season 5 title. 100 laps to go still in New Hampshire. Only caution in this race so far has been for spin intentionally by Herklots. That gave him, of course, a penalty. All right, Landon, you're currently running back here all by yourself in 6th. I mean, what's your thoughts right now?
I don't know, just kind of cruising, you know. I mean, we suck at short tracks. I've never been good at short tracks, flat tracks. Just kind of hanging on, you know. I'm good for about 10, 15 laps. And then buy tires, you know. Pretty boring race. Never ran here before. Hopefully never run here again. This track pretty boring.
Yeah, I mean, it was supposed to be good with this car, but obviously that was before we knew this car was horrific. The gap was about a second between White and Benton. Hey, Landon, do you have the lobbies memorized off the top of your head?
We go to San Diego. We go to San Diego for the first race. No clue what car.
Next gen.
Then we go to next gen. Then we go to, I forgot.
Wow. Then we go to Fontana Auto Club Speedway with the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series car. And the main event is technically San Diego. That's actually going to be first this week. But the last race, that isn't technically the main event, though, is going to be the Gen 6 cars at Talladega. And NASCAR iRacing FedEx Lobbies is, of course, back tomorrow night. It's an exciting week. Been off for a long time. Last lobbies were back in April, so happy to be back. We have 3 really cool, exciting races coming up. Tomorrow night, starting at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, live here on the channel. NASCAR iRacing FedEx Lobbies, week 46. Battle's starting to heat up for second. We'll see if Huntsicker can run down that 9-car at Benson. Of course, championship week all heads kicks off next week in Las Vegas. 3 championship races, the Cup Series on Thursday, of course. Grand National Championship will be decided on Wednesday, and the Truck Series Championship also will be decided. That'll be on Tuesday. Donahue is not falling back on these guys. He still has a good car, but will he be able to get the track for the rest of this race? That is the question. Lindsey's trying to hold on for the end of the stage when he gets a lap back. He'll still be a lap down. Hope for another yellow after that. Battle is now on for P2. Here comes Huntsicker back on that 9-car Benton. Seems like Braden's car is pretty solid on the longer runs. So the same thing on that first run. He'll go to the outside on that 9-car. Benton will try to roll the top to actually get there. Benton tries to cut off his nose. He'll do that. Tight is that 77 Huntsicker. Up the racetrack goes Benton back into 1 and 2. Braden looking to his quarter panel. He is there. Can't get there, though, officially. Stays in line. Up the racetrack again is Bryce Benton. Oh, there's contact for second. Hunsicker, obviously the faster race car. Going to get to his inside. They're going to be door to door down the back front straightaway. Getting a lot of time to Matthew White, your leader now. See Donahue back there catching up to them as well. Braden Hunsicker is going to aggressively clear him for second. Bryce probably not the most pleased with how he got raced there. He's going to get back to the bumper, almost makes contact with the 77. And Aiden Donahue now will try to challenge this 9 for third. White now got a 2-second lead over his teammate. Aiden Donahue looking for P3. Of course, was leading the race for the first about 40 laps. Lost the lead at a horrific restart last time by. Back to P4, looking to get third back. He'll tend to go in the stage this time by. Donahue cuts it down low on the racetrack. He's going to have a nice run. Thought he was going to have a nice run coming down the back front straightaway, but apparently not. Up the racetrack goes Bryce Benton. Here goes Donahue, who's inside. Battle for P3. Bryce got barely clear him once again off corner exit. This 9 car struggles in the long runs for sure. Donahue to his bumper. He is on his quarter panel. He is there. Gonna try to side draft him. He's gonna barely get there down the front straightaway for P3. Back into 1 and 2. Side by side. Donahue going to leave him some nice room on the outside lane. Benton doing the same respectful race for third. And Donahue's going to be able to clear him for P3. Bryce Benton falling back down to fourth. There's the gap, 2 seconds between teammates White and Hunsicker. Matthew White has been gone to victory lane since January, all the way back in Phoenix. Which is crazy for a guy like him. Absolutely wild. 24 career wins, looking for career win number 25. He's been searching for that one for a long time. Nearly 6 months. These guys have just rocketed away from everybody else. They're easily the 4 best cars in the racetrack. All chase drivers, of course. White's coming to 6 laps to go this time by to the stage. Looking back on Zane Rahman, I mean, he's just kind of running here by default in 5th. Oh, that's Donahue in the wall a little bit on the back straightaway. Landon, as we're now like, what, 30 laps with the run, how much more worn are the tires and how much looser is it?
I'm not really loose anymore. I'm just kind of tight. Like my right front has left the chat. My right front's gone. So not really loose, just more tight. I don't know how it is for the leaders, you know. They're about 3 miles ahead of me.
I gotta make sure you don't get lapped here. You're only coming to 3 to go, though.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Of course, halfway break at the end of lap 78. Next week will actually be the final halfway break in NASCAR iRacing FedEx League history. Because the part-time races we will do will not have halfway breaks at all. Because, of course, no stage points are to be awarded. Unless we had a mini-season, which probably won't be a stage anyways. Hunsicker could be setting up nicely here for the second half. If he gets a good pit stop, he would have a chance to beat his teammate Matthew White out. He's looking for win number 2 in the year. The 7 car technically has 3 wins this season. Last one coming with Richard Cherry when he filled in for Matthew White at Pocono. That's a very special win for Cherry. Back when we actually had more than 9 cars in the racetrack. All right, coming to 1 to go in the stage this time by for Matthew White. Pretty calm sailing as after he got the lead up front. We're gonna wait for the top 5 to cross the line, by the way. Goes back to Zane Ramon. Let's see, of course, 2 laps down right now. There is the 9 car Benton still 4th. Matthew White going back into 3 and 4 here in the final time of the stage. It'll be an extra 10 stage points for your points leader. You'll see the green-white checkered flag this time by to win the stage in Loudon. Second is going to be Hunsicker. He falls now a point behind. Another point behind will be 11 behind Matthew White. 4th. Third is Donahue. 4th is Benton. Here comes the 1 car of Zane Rahman going to finish up P5. All right. I'll bring up the yellow. Stage break here in New Hampshire. With White, your leader. So 76 laps to go from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. We're going to see everyone coming to pit road this time by. There still would need to be 1 more pit stop after this one. Going to be short to the end. White is going to lead the field on down. He needs a good pit stop. With Hunsicker on his back bumper. Donahue is 3rd. Benton is P4. And here they come. Top 4 are pretty all close on speed. Obviously, the rest of the field really isn't, but that doesn't really matter at this point. They can all have a good battle for the win. Here we go. Before freshening your tires, pack it full of Sunoco fuel. We're going to make that last shot stop as short as it possibly can be. Off of pit road first. Here we come. Ooh, Hunsicker got a good stop. Did he beat him? Nope. White got it. Hunsicker's going to be 2nd. 3rd will be Benton. And Donahue actually going to repair some damage here. Be behind Rahman. Here comes Lindsay. He'll get the free pass. All right, under caution for the 2nd time tonight. This is the stage break. Should be choosing, I believe. Outside, outside. How about that for the teammates? That'll give the front row to the 9 of Benton. That's interesting. Zane Rahman going to choose high as well. Johnson going to choose inside. Donnie falls back to 6th. Lindsay now a lap down. We'll be hoping for a caution here. So he can get back on the lead lap. All right, so it's going to be Matthew White on the outside lane. First leader to choose the top here on a start, with Bryce Benton on the low side. Maybe Matthew White, of course, saw how terrible of a restart Donahue got as your leader on the bottom. Did not want to deal with that. White's going to try to get a good jump on this 9 to his inside. Here we go, coming back to the Echo Park Automotive restart zone. We're back to green in New Hampshire. Pretty decent restart by the 7. He is going to get clear. No, he's not. Oh, my goodness. That's Bryce Benton nearly clearing out the 7 of Matthew White. Here comes Hunsicker to the inside. Looking on Matthew White. They are door-to-door down the back straightaway for the lead. Benton nearly cleaned out that 7 car. That was so close. Side by side, Aiden Donahue in the bottom. There's contact between teammates. Still door-to-door. Hunsicker racing that 7 hard. Goes way to the inside. Up the race. Oh, Hunsicker sideways. He'll save it. Falls back to second. Got a car loose to the inside. That's Johnson. Here goes Benton for P2. And Aiden Donahue there to the inside as well. Benton pulls a slide job on the 77 car. Donahue comes back down low. Somehow they all file back in line. Man. But the 9 still got that 77 Hunsicker to his quarter panel. He's looking. Both them loose. They are again allowing Matthew White to pull away. Oh, there's contact! Benton got the bumper from Hunsicker. More contact. Hunsicker really did it to his inside again. Here comes Donahue. Saint Roman as well. Braden loose on the inside. Here comes the 82. Aiden Donahue for P3. Overdrives the corner this time behind the bottom. Gonna try to clear the 77. Oh man, he almost does it. No, he doesn't. Braden Hunsicker still there. Benton got loose, and here comes Donahue to his inside. On the apron nearly. Aiden Donahue looking to get clear for B2. Benton loose on the outside yet again. What a battle. Benton back to 4th. Donahue up to 2nd. Man. Oh, Hunsicker loose. Contact with Benton. He's still sideways, trying to save it in the wall. Loses the spot to the 9, and there is Saint Roman driving into the corner as well. He is keeping up with these guys. Very impressive. They are going at it. Man. Hunsicker now back to the bumper. He has been just all over this 9 car. Bryce Benton. These two have just been with each other all race, I feel like. Now they're battling for 3rd, losing the spots to Matthew White and Aiden Donahue. Here goes Hunsicker looking to the inside of that 9 of Benton. He is there on the bottom for 3rd. Once again, Benton will prevail in the wall. Is that 77? A lot of close calls there on that restart. Somehow they all keep it together. And it's somehow, some way, Saint Roman is keeping up with these two. It is almost a little bit faster. This is a Cup Series champion in Hunsicker and a 7-time winner this year in Bryce Benton. And Saint Roman, he's there. Hunsicker now going to try to the outside lane, back into 3 and 4. We're still a pit stop to come. what is our fuel window looking like right now in lap 92?
Give me 1 second.
There's still 64 laps to go.
46 laps.
All right, so still about 20 or so laps short.
Yeah.
So guaranteed pit stop. Don't know if it's going to be under green, maybe under caution. We'll see. This battle for second, though, is still going on. Or third, I mean, between Benton and Hunsaker. Here goes that 77. Braden Hunsaker all the way down to the inside. Uses that very bottom line nearly to the grass. Slides back up the racetrack. Nearly makes contact with the 9. Probably really burning up your stuff here. Hunsaker, I'm talking about, by doing this. Riding along with the 77 machine. Tries to gas it up. Tries to get there. He is there. Here goes Hunsaker, drives it really deep into the corner yet again on the inside of Bryce Benson. Washes him up the racetrack. There's contact. But they're going to side draft each other down the front straightaway. Benton overdrives the corner way high in a 1 and 2. Braden Hunsaker might have a shallow exit here to probably get him tight, and it will do just that. He's going to fall back down to 4th yet again. Donahue is now 1.5 seconds back on your leader, White. Way up the racetrack is that 9 of Benson. He's going to look to his quarter panel. Here comes Hunsaker. To the inside yet again on Bryce Benton. When will these two get together too much and maybe turn one of them around? Will that actually happen? We'll see. But they are still side by side, heading down the back straightaway, and again, Hunsaker just gets cleared by Benton. These two just cannot get away from each other at all today. The non-stop battling between them. A little bit of contact yet again. Here's the 77, stays to his bumper. White, the gap is 1.5 seconds between him and Aiden Donahue. Donahue is desperately trying to run him down. But White's had the best long run car today. The best car since he's gotten to the lead overall. This has been the best battle on track all day long between these two. There's contact, it looked like through 3 and 4, maybe just slightly between Hunsaker and Benton. Hunsaker is going to get to the outside. He's going to try to get a nice run down this front straightaway. He's going to actually stay in line on his bumper. Really try to move him. No, he won't. Coming to lap 100 here in New Hampshire. I mean, Hunsaker at least, respectful driver. I don't think Braden Hunsaker really wrecks many people at all, if any. But he's there to the inside of the 9. Yet again, there's a little bit of contact back into 3 and 4. This time, Hunsaker going to drive it really deep into the corner, try to slide up the racetrack. He pulls a slide job on Benton, and he crosses back over to the inside. Benton gets there once more, but now Braden's got the outside lane, and he clears him. Benton going to get back, try to get back to his quarter panel at least. He will do that. It looks like ever so slightly no. Falls back in the line, and I think Braden Hunsaker officially has 3rd place. Finally. That was one hell of a battle there between those two. 54 laps to go in New Hampshire. Donnie has not gone away. He's been running ever so slightly quicker than the 7 car of Happy Way. All right, Landon, how close are we on the fuel now?
We are 34 laps.
Okay, so that's still some time, but I'm going to be interested to see. Like, we could see some overcuts, some undercuts. I'm going to be very intrigued how this is going to all work out. Who pits first? Who goes long? We'll see. Will there maybe be a caution middle of green flag pit cycles? Anything could happen. Will there be a caution now to even maybe upset having green flag pit cycles? We'll see. Lindsay would love to see yellow. He is currently a lap down. Wants to get that free pass. Way up the racetrack is Bryce Benton. He's just not had the best speed in this race car. He's very lucky there aren't more cars in this field. He would definitely not be a top 5 car right now in a normal grid. Like if we had Sean Rowe, or Cameron Chandler, Wilkin, you name it, there's a bunch of guys that aren't here, a lot of them actually, then he definitely would not be a top 5 car today. Donnie has now fallen back a little bit over the last few laps on white, as we are going to come to 50 laps to go from Loudon. Been a long grueling race already with a small car count that we have today. These drivers are trying to make that final pit stop, and they need to execute. Benton has not allowed the 77 to really drive away that far. Still somewhat in touch distance with about 0.8 of a second between them. And I think this is a good time to remind you that our promo code for W Energy ETR60 is still, of course, available. You get 10% off by using it. Go to WEnergy.com. Link is in the description. Add that promo code to your cart once you're done shopping for their amazing products, and you will get 10% off your entire cart. Code ETR60. I think that with that, we are going to go to Crank It Up, presented by W Energy from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. happened to Bryce Benson? Did he pit?
I think he's pitting.
I don't know what happened. Hang on. Sorry to interrupt. Crank it up. Yeah, Bryce Benson just pitted. Okay. We lost him for a second. I thought he disconnected, like had some sort of connection issue, but he just pitted. Bryce Benson just brought his thing down to. Okay. Okay, that's great. Bryce Benson just brought his car down to pit road, and he is the first one to pit here. Will this be an undercut? How much does that mean here in New Hampshire? And who will be the next driver to actually bring it down to pit road? If I'm Aiden Donahue here, I feel like I want to pit. I don't know. He's on the opposite strategy of that, the overcut last week in Kansas in the first stage, and it ultimately was a net loss. Again, they continue to stay out, though, up front. Benton on fresh tires, full fuel, good to the end. He's not going to try to push hard to make up that gap. He was, what, about 4, maybe half seconds, maybe 5 seconds back on leader White. I mean, he probably gained about a second lap. White is coming this time by. Here he comes. 7 is pitting. Matthew White to pit road for the final time today. Releases final green flag scheduled stop. Cannot speed if you're Matthew. Zanerman also is pitting. Gonna get just enough fuel to roll off pit road. I do want to look at the gap now. He's gonna come into his pit stall clean. Here's Bryce Benson heading down the back straightaway. So there is White getting his service in the stall. And here we go. Donahue pits with Hunsicker. Benton, by the way, there's White rolling off of the racetrack. He's on the apron. Benton back there in the 9. Yeah, it's not going to be enough. White's going to have him covered pretty nicely there. So, obviously not enough for Bryce Benton. Here go the 82 and the 77. The final pit stops under green for these two. Hunsicker and...
Oh, there's rain on the track after Johnson takes the lead. We're going to have to call the race.
Yeah, nice try. Good stop for the 82 of Donahue. He will roll off pit road. Here comes the 7 of White. Trying to come around the outside. Donahue had a really good stop here. He's going to somehow beat Matthew White on pit road. Oh, my goodness. What a stop by the 82 crew. How did they do it? Wow. Aiden Donahue is going to cycle to the lead if he can keep it. White on slightly warmer
There's
tires.
rain on the track. We got to call it.
Slightly warmer tires for the 7 car, but on a little bit fresher tires now for Aiden Donahue. He'll jump Matthew White. By the way, Benton, as expected, jumped Hunsicker, but Braden's got the fresher tires now. White's going to try to fight back on the 82 of Donahue. I mean, was it the execution on pit road? I don't know what it was. Obviously a faster stop than the 82 of Donahue, but Matthew White is there. He is back to his inside. Side by side down the front straightaway. White trying to retake the lead. Store to door, back into 1 and 2. White on the inside. Donahue wants this win so badly. Hasn't won all year. One of the most shocking stories of the Cup Series campaign. They're going to catch up to Johnson as that's Matthew White loose. Johnson, of course, your leader right now, but still yet to pit. Will he get out of the way? I'm assuming Landon will for these two that will be the leader in just a minute. And there he is to the inside. Aiden Donahue looks to officially take the race lead here in Loudon. Let's both White and Donahue go. Donahue up the racetrack a little bit now. White is still there. Had the faster car at the end of the run earlier. And mostly throughout this race as Johnson pits. I'm just in shock how Aiden Donahue was able to execute that well on pit road and jump Matthew White. He was, what, like 1.5 seconds behind him entering pit road? He pitted a lap later, and somehow that's going to work out. He is your new leader. They're going to catch up to Lindsay, who's yet to pit as well. I think he's coming this time by. Yes, he is. Oh, that's a loose moment by Aiden Donahue there off corner exit. 34 laps to go in New Hampshire. Still a long ways for Matthew White to repass the 82. And Aiden Donahue is going to be, he is going to be fighting for his life for this one. Wants this win so badly. Hasn't won since Darlington, the Southern 500 last season in the Cup Series. And that's over a calendar year ago. It was last April. Or maybe last May. So 13 months since his last Cup Series victory for Aiden Donahue. It's just been a disappointing season all the way around for the 82 car. But not in the chase. He has had such good speed. Race-winning pace in basically every race so far in the chase. That's a lot of rhyming right there. Far improved from the Cup Series, or from the regular season days. Or he had maybe a best running position on any given weekend of 6th. I know this field has kind of gotten smaller, but nothing's really changed about the drivers up front for the most part. And he is now your leader, and he's pulling away from Matthew White. White has got to be in shock as well. I mean, pitted a lap earlier than Donahue. Usually that's going to cover you nicely, but must have just had a slow pit stop or slow exit entry. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Donahue obviously was very aggressive, took as little fuel as possible, I'm assuming, and barely beat him off the pit road and currently has the lead here. Coming to 30 laps to go, this time by New Hampshire. Aiden Donahue leading, Matthew White second, Braden Hunsicker third. All the veterans up front. All of championships in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League. 2 Cup champions with White and Hunsicker. Grand National Series champion back in Season 2 for Aiden Donahue. All double digits in the Cup Series win category. White looking for career win number 25 tonight if he can get back to the lead. But Aiden Donahue making that tough tonight with 30 laps to go. Donahue looking for his 12th career win. To take solely second all time. He is currently tied with Aiden Walker for P2. Looking back, Hunsicker, of course, got around when we were watching that battle for the lead. He got around Benton. Of course, he is on fresher tires than this 9 car. Benton now going to get 99 on his bumper here. Lindsay now 2 laps down. Did a great race for Payson. They're winning two of the last 3, Kansas and Chicagoland. The gap up front, nearly 7/10 of a second. Aiden Donahue is pulling away from Matthew White. What a call. What a great job by the pit crew. And a great execution off of pit road for Aiden Donahue to get himself into this position. I mean, I don't really know how you gain a 1.5 seconds on pit road. Obviously, Matthew had some sort of issue that we didn't catch on his pit stop. Donahue now can just barely push enough to hopefully for him hold the lead. He does not want to see a yellow. Lindsay, side by side there, was side by side with the 9 of Benton. Benton up the racetrack. He has just struggled with pace today. Like I said, he is lucky this is the smallest field we've had all season because he would not be a top 5 contender at all if we had a lot more cars. That's almost for certain. That was a good corner by Matthew White. Actually closed up about a 1/10 or so. We come to 25 laps to go in New Hampshire. Are we on for maybe another classic Aiden Donahue and Matthew White battle for the win? We haven't seen one of these in a while. New drivers have kind of taken to the tops of the podium. These two, the old veterans, remember back in Season 3, they had such an insane year, the two of them combined. And an unbelievable battle in Watkins Glen. It was so fun. And neither of them won the title. It was Dylan Banks winning the championship that season. Unfortunately, Donahue at this point, it would be unrealistic for him to win the championship, especially with White finishing. If he comes home second today, not even sure if Donahue would actually even stay in championship hunt mathematically after this race if it finishes like this. We know White's going to be pushing for all he can. He's closing up 20 or so laps from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. A lot of cloud cover on the track now. It's gotten pretty dark here in New Hampshire. Should make the track a little bit more gripped up. Landon, are you feeling any of that?
Yeah, I think there's definitely some grip now. A little more grip since the clouds have started to come out. I heard Donahue a couple laps ago, you ran the fastest lap of the session, so yeah, the grip's definitely going up.
And he is pulling away from Matthew White yet again. 0.8 of a second the gap between him and White. He is going way up the racetrack, almost up to the third lane. These cars are so edgy off corner exit. I don't know if we just heard White downshifting. I don't think so. Let's listen. In the wall there. Yeah, I don't know. It would be pretty insane to downshift at New Hampshire in a Gen 4. First time I've ever seen that.
I feel like if I do that, I'm going to blow the thing up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you would blow up. I don't know what I heard then. 20 laps to go, though, from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. That 82 car is just getting smaller and smaller in the windshield of Matthew White. What a job executing on and off pit road for Aiden Donahue. It's sealing the win today. Right along now with Hunsinger. The gap is now a second between Donahue and White. He wasn't very confident, Aiden Donahue, coming to this race at all. Talked to him last week post-Kansas when he gave up that win after dominating most of that race. Said his biggest chance for a win probably would be Las Vegas. But tonight, starting to prove us wrong.
Don't jinx him. You've done that all season
long.
long.
Yeah, I know. Hasn't won since race 7 in Darlington, the Southern 500 last season. He wasn't granted full-time last year, but he is full-time this year. He hasn't won at all in the first 22 races. The gap 1.2 seconds between him and Matthew White, two former teammates at Highline Motorsports. Aiden has, of course, since moved on and started his own team at Showtime, which has been pretty successful. They have 3 different winners. Him, of course, having, I think, 2 wins for Showtime. Miller's got 1, Asbel has 1. That was, of course, being in the Cup Series. Donahue's got a few Xfinity wins, or Grand National wins as well, including one this season in Fontana. That's his only NASCAR iRacing FedEx League win here in Season 5 so far. "15 laps to go in New Hampshire, and this is when it starts to get tense. You do not want that 7 car to catch back up. I know he's pulling away, but you also do not want to see a caution. That's the last thing Aiden Donahue needs. White back there, just pushing everything He had it. I mean, he just got to be shocked that Aiden Donahue was able to beat him off the pit road. And it was barely, too. It was like maybe a car length. He barely got in front of the 7. The clean air does mean a lot today. But even if it was a little bit, I mean, even if Donahue did not beat him, but he was back on his bumper, I think he still probably would have gotten him with the pace he has right now. Here's Hunsaker running in 3rd. Benton back 10 seconds in 4th. It just hasn't been the chase to remember so far for Bryce Benton. Thought this would go a lot better. As of right now, Matthew White would be your championship leader heading to the finale next week in Las Vegas. You would have about 12, 13-point advantage over Hunsaker. Benton, I think, would be 2nd, maybe 3rd. Lindsay would be up in the top 4 as well. All 4 of them would have a chance at the title heading next week to Vegas. We have a 3-way race for the Grand National Series Championship with Clarino over 4 over Wilson, and then Herklot still technically in championship contention in 3rd, 25 back there. The Truck Series Championship also still going on. That'll be decided next week. I think like 3 or 4 or 5 drivers are still in the Truck Series Championship contention. Cameron Chandler has a 2-point advantage over Payson Lindsay, so the margins are really close here. They really are. 2 points, 4 points, and then whatever else we have tonight in the Cup Series. It is going to go down to the wire next week for the finale in Las Vegas for all 3 series. It'll be the full-time finale of the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League. Of course, we're not saying goodbye forever. We'll be back. We got a pretty cool thing to announce and a lot of stuff to announce after Las Vegas week next week. Probably will do that after the Cup Series finale. First things, we already announced that what cars will be used, most likely, tentatively, I should say. Some lap traffic ahead with 10 laps to go here in Loudon in Saint Romain. The gap is about 1.4 seconds. White continuing to lose time. Thought he had this race won, but obviously some sort of issue, slight issue with that being on the pit stop. Or Donahue just somehow got a 2.5 better stop than Matthew White. Just seriously difficult to do with how close they are. Aiden is not backing down. He is pushing hard. He is just nearly to the wall. He's going way up the racetrack. He wants to hit every mark to the checkered flag. 8 laps to go in New Hampshire. Braden Hunsaker 4.7 seconds back with the leader in 3rd. He goes pretty high up the racetrack in 1 and 2 here. He is actually starting to run down these 2. He has got, I think, slightly fresher tires, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe by a lap or 2. Not much, but it's something. He's pretty quick over these last few laps. Just not obviously going to be enough to even get close to them with 7 to go. Lap traffic ahead. Not 100% sure if Donahue will catch Saint Romain. I'm trying to stay on the lead lap here. Yeah, fastest car on the track right now is the 77 Hunsaker. He is looking pretty solid. But it's a little bit too late. Ooh, that's a moment there for Aiden Donahue. Got a 1.5 second lead now. Can start to not take as many risks. Doesn't want to give up the lead, obviously, but doesn't want to wreck the car either. That'd be the worst case scenario. 5 laps to go. But of course, does not want to see a caution. Going to catch up to the lap traffic here. This is where things get a little bit interesting. I don't think Zane Roman's just going to let him go, but how much will this affect Aiden? Right up the racetrack, even higher than Donahue goes. That's almost the 4th lane? Did I see that right? I'm not really sure, but Aiden's going to get to the, actually, he will let him go. So no issue there with the lap car for Aiden Donahue. Wants to see that white flag as soon as possible. That'll make the race official. There's Landon Johnson in the lap down right now. What a win the streak it's been for the 82 of Aiden Donahue. Last win of, like I said, came at Darlington last May. The Southern 500, he dominated that race, won by like 13 seconds. That was an insane victory for Donahue. But he just hasn't been himself in this car. Not even close. But tonight has been a night to remember. Sorry, Darlington actually happened in June. It was just a year ago. We just passed the year anniversary of his last Cup win. 2 laps to go, New Hampshire. Aiden Donahue looking to break a 1-year winless streak. 369 days, or just about that. White in second, stuck in that traffic, 1.7 seconds back. Donahue, this time by, he is going to see the white flag to officially make it official. 1 lap to go, New Hampshire, for Aiden Donahue. It's been a disappointing season so far, as Vermont still sits ahead of Matthew White, but this one's going to be special. Championship contention is still pretty far out for this 82 of Donahue, but this is going to be a huge victory for him. Hasn't won in a year, but that all's going to change now. Off of turn 4, Aiden Donahue's going to see the checkered flag. He is going to win in New Hampshire. Finally. And the signature slide is back. All the way around turn 1. His first win since Darlington in Season 4. White's going to come home second, disappointed probably with that. Hunsicker finishes in third. And Aiden Donahue is your winner in New Hampshire. He'll hoist the lobster today. Back to victory lane. How about that? Been a long time coming. Didn't think we've ever had this. Didn't think we would ever have this kind of win the streak for Aiden Donahue. But it happens, and he's definitely very happy it's over. And this is the race I feel like he wasn't going to win. The one race in the chase where I feel like he didn't have the best car at the end, he takes home the victory. How about that? First win of the season for Aiden Donahue. This has got to feel special. Now, I'm not exactly sure if he's going to be eliminated from championship contention. If he is today, I don't think he's going to care that much because he was a long shot to win the title anyways. And he just got a win now, which he's been just hoping for and praying for so long, as he will do the Polish victory lap around New Hampshire. What a victory. Finally, Aiden Donahue back to Cup Series victory lane. Does that full Polish victory lap, Alan Kubicki style. And he will now burn it down on the front straightaway. Try to do a full wheel stand, something you try to do with New Hampshire, Pocono, this kind of place, straight front straightaways. Well, he's not going to do that. Okay. He'll mark it at the start-finish line as a winner in Season 5. Finally. I know he didn't do all the races. We'll give him that. But Aiden Donahue just broke about just about a 40 race winless streak, I think. Even though he wasn't even in half. Well, he wasn't half in those races. He wasn't half the races because of this season, but was part time last year, full time season 3, full time Grand National. So this is his career. I guess I'll just say it. Full time Grand National season 2 dominated that, won the championship easily. Season 3, full time in the Cup Series, won a ton of races, but lost the title there. Went part time in season 4, won at Darlington. That was his last Cup win, like I said. And then, of course, came back this season, season 5, and just, it's been a disappointment. But the chase has been insane for speed. He is just back to his old self, and he finally comes home with a victory today. His first of the year, Aiden Donahue wins at New Hampshire. The first and probably only race at New Hampshire in the Cup Series. Well, it was certainly one to remember. And we are going to have post-race interviews coming up right away from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Of course, first of all, with your winner, Aiden Donahue. Finally, he will get the job done. This has been, I mean, a long time coming is an understatement. We didn't think this winless streak was possible for a guy like Aiden. Real quick, we want to look at the points, see what kind of happened here. Before we get to post-race here. All right. So Donahue, he scored 3 more points than Matthew White today. That is. That, though, oh, man, that's not going to be enough. Aiden Donahue has just been knocked out of championship contention. Wow, that's going to be bittersweet. By 2 points, he is out. I mean, it was going to be a long shot anyways, but Donahue is officially not eligible for the championship. It'll go down between Matthew White, Braden Hunsicker, Bryce Benton, and Payson Lindsay in the finale at Phoenix. 4 drivers going for a Cup Series title. Aiden Donahue, you have finally done it. You are a NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series winner here in season number 5. How does it feel?
It feels amazing. Finally. I don't know where this speed was in the beginning of the year, but I'm very glad I have it now. I don't really care about the championship. I wanted to win before this, we ended the league, and there is a huge sigh of relief, and I'm speechless. I can't believe we did it.
Well, what a pit strategy or pit call that was. How did you somehow, of course, come into the pits a second and a half behind Matthew White and then beat him out of the pits? How did that happen?
I don't know if he took 2, but I did.
Oh.
And that's what did it. Yeah, I was really slow on my pit entry, and I did some practice earlier, and I realized through the race that like my left sides were only in the 90s after like 40 laps. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take 2 at the last stop. And as soon as I did, and as soon as I came out in front of him, I was like, all right, if I can hold him off and pull away, please do not let there be a yellow, because I can't take 2 again. And there wasn't, and finally, dude.
Yeah, I actually didn't know you took 2 tires there. Matthew, we watched his pit stop. He took 4. So that would explain that. What a pit strategy call that was. It wins you guys the race. I mean, when you're sitting behind Matthew White there, it was a second and a half back, not really gaining anything. Is it at that point just getting desperate? You got to try anything you can?
Yeah. I mean, there's the desperate part of it. I was like, dude, it's going to be now or never, because Vegas is going to be super competitive. So I was like, I have a shot. And if I am anywhere close, I was like, yeah, I'm going to 100% take 2. And like I said, I knew during the race that it 2 would work. I didn't want to show it yet. And I knew it was going to take everyone by surprise. And dude, I'm very happy it worked.
Yeah, finally back to victory lane. You break. By the way, it was just about last week was your just about a year anniversary since your last cup win before this in Darlington, the
Oh
Southern
man.
500. So you break a year-long winless streak. But I do have some
Ugh,
bad news for you. You will exit this race now 45 points out of the championship lead, ending your title hopes.
I don't care. I don't care.
I
This
mean,
was my championship. I don't care.
it was going to be a long shot anyways, even if you were somehow able to keep in contention there with four other drivers ahead of you still in championship contention. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, just great job, Aiden. Though, what are you gonna do with that giant lobster you're gonna get for winning this race?
I don't. I don't know. Buy a fish tank.
A fish tank. Let's eat it.
Nah, I want to keep them.
All right, I guess so. Well, anyways, Aiden Donahue, congratulations on the victory. Huge win for you guys. First win in a year in the Cup Series. We all know this has been a long time coming. Hope you have fun celebrating this one. And we will see you next week in the finale at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Zane Rahman, I know, is the smallest grid we've had in the Cup Series all year. You guys still will finish in fifth. Ultimately, how do you think your day went in Loudon?
I'd say it's just one of those decent days, Ethan. I mean, we weren't really with pace for like the top four at all, so I mean, I'll take it at the end though. So yeah.
I mean, so of course it's Las Vegas Championship finale week coming up next here. What races are going to be running there with between Trucks at Grand National and the Cup Series? Of course, all our finales, and what kind of pace can we expect from you?
Well, I'll definitely be running trucks and Cup Series. Maddox, of course, will continue to be running that Project 17 car for Grand National. So yeah, I mean, we've done a lot of work in the shop recently. We just came back from another race we had in Las Vegas, had a really good result there. So definitely looking up for high expectations for Vegas. You know, we just want to finish this season strong. This one team has put in a lot of effort. So yeah.
All right, Zane. Well, nice job of top five today here at New Hampshire, even though there's only 9 cars in the race. But we will see you next week
Yeah.
from Vegas.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, next up, Bryce Benton. Bryce Benton, honestly, today you still will finish in fourth, even though there are only 9 cars in the race. But we won't talk about that. Um, God. Fourth place finish for you guys though today here at New Hampshire. Just did not have the pace I felt like for you guys. Is that ultimately what happens?
Yeah, I not really sure. I I felt really confident about my pace going into the race, and it just was not there for whatever reason. I don't know why. I mean, short run pace is good. I think I just struggled in the long runs with saving tires, and I should have practiced that more. I really practiced quali runs a lot more than my race runs, and that I think showed. So yeah, no, it was overall pretty disappointing race. I mean, I don't even know if we're in championship contention after that. But yeah, definitely not really the race we wanted. I thought I was gonna do a lot better than that, but it is what it is. I mean, New Hampshire's never really been that good of a track for me, so yeah, it just kind of is what it is, I guess. But yeah, just definitely a little bit frustrating. Just gonna have to, look at that, learn from it, like what was I doing wrong, and yeah, just definitely not really the race I wanted for sure.
Well, you guys still are in championship contention. You're going to exit this race minus 26 to Matthew White, so that penalty obviously hurt you, and then the finishing behind him in the stage and the race hurt you here as well. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, glad we're still in championship contention, but I mean, we're probably, I mean, that's 26 points is like gonna be near impossible to make up in a race unless like Matthew were to like miss the race or something. But um, yeah, I mean, I don't want to give up on the championship, but obviously it's a big hole and it's definitely disappointing. I was a little bit disappointed after that race, just because I knew that was gonna be I knew that was gonna be in a big hole going to Vegas, and yeah, it's just really really unfortunate after having such a good regular season. I'm not really sure how we choked it in the chase, but yeah, it just is what it is. It's definitely frustrating, but you know, I guess you never know what can happen in Vegas. I guess we'll just see what happens.
All right. Anyways, Bryce, once we're done with this interview, check your DMs, and we will see you next week for the Vegas finale.
Sounds good. See ya.
All right. Well, that will do it. From New Hampshire Motor Speedway, Aiden Donahue, how about it? Finally gets to victory lane. I mean, that is just so impressive by him today. What a pit call it was, taking 2 tires. Heard it from the man himself off the pit road. Lobbies are back tomorrow night. Of course, we went through the schedule. I don't want to say it again, really. But that'll do it tonight. Man, what a day from New Hampshire. On behalf of all team owners, commentators, drivers, officials, everyone involved making this league what it is, we will see you tomorrow night for lobbies. And, of course, for Las Vegas finale week for the Cup Series, the Grand National Series, and the Truck Series. We will have 3 finales. So it'll be Matthew White. He will have a 13-point gap over Braden Huntsicker. He'll be the leader. Huntsicker will be second in the championship. 2 former champions there. Benton is going to be what? Well, actually, let's see where Lindsay's going to be real quick. Hang on. Stand by. I think Lindsay's going to be maybe 3rd. Benton will maybe be 4th. But I think it's mostly between Huntsicker and White. That's going to be interesting next week. But anything could happen. You still could see Lindsay or Benton win the title. So on behalf of all commentators, drivers, officials, everyone involved in making this league what it is, thank you for tuning in tonight. We will see you tomorrow night for our lobbies, and of course, and then after that for the official races to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It's a big week. One of the biggest weeks of the season. It's championship week, finale week. We'll see you then. Good night from Loudon, New Hampshire Motor Speedway.